garage in the front yard setback at the property.
Thank you. I would now ask Board Member Gallagher to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Seeing no business,
Minutes.
oh, I'm sorry, we have minutes from the April 22, 2025 meeting, and the draft has been circulated. Are there any supplementations or revisions to those minutes? Hearing none, I would move that they become a part of the permanent record of the board.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now we can move on and entertain the new business with the Razor application for special exception and variances.
Do you want me to do anything with party status?
You certainly can do that, yes.
All right, before we get started, again, this is an application, and my name is Dwight Yoder. I'm the zoning hearing board solicitor. I pre-marked a number of exhibits that we'll put into the record. The first one is B1. It's the zoning hearing board application. B2 is the proof of publication, and I will have the zoning officer sworn in to go over B3. Understand, John?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And can you state your name for the record
Sure. John Donnelly.
and your position with the township?
I'm the zoning officer and building code official for Lancaster Township.
Let me direct your attention to what's been marked as Exhibit B3.
Yes.
Is that a verification of posting?
Yes, it is.
And for the record, could you indicate when the property was posted?
July 8th of 2025 at about 10:30 a.m.
All right, thank you, sir. And then B4 is a supplemental plan that I think was submitted to the township, consisting of 2 pages. So that is what I have as part of the board exhibits. I'm sure the applicant may have additional exhibits. Before we turn it over to applicant's counsel to make the presentation, is there anyone here that is not here with the applicants that are interested, that might be interested in this application? Okay, that makes my job easier. I don't have to go through party status. Let the record reflect that nobody's indicated that they are here outside of those associated with the applicants. So at this time, we'll turn it over to council.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Benas. I'm here from Barley Snyder, representing the applicants. Applicants this evening are Maureen and John Razor. They're the legal owners as well of the property. We also have a couple members of our design team here this evening who will be presenting. We have Alex Ruff from Site Design Concepts. We have Andy Lebo from E.G. Stoltzfus. And we have Ethan Knopsnyder, who's the architect. So if it's easier for the stenographer, we can just have everyone sworn in all at once. Would you like to do that now?
Yes.
Okay.
Would each of you raise your right hands, please?
Us two?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just in case. Do each of you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you.
So I'm just going to give a very brief description of the property for some background, and then I'll pass out the exhibits, and then I'll kind of hand it over to John and Maureen to give you some more background here. As the solicitor said, we're here for 85 Spencer Avenue. It's a little under half an acre lot. It's about 0.43 acres, excuse me. It's in the R2 residential district in the township. It's in a pretty high density area in Hamilton Park. As I mentioned, the owners are John and Maureen Razor, and this has been their primary home for decades. They bought this home back in 1998 and have lived there and raised their family there since. So we're here this evening for 3 requests. The Razors are looking to make this home more suitable for their long-term goals, which you'll hear a bit more detail from John and Maureen about that. So they're proposing 2 things. The first is to convert their existing detached garage on the property along Maple Avenue into an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU, for their son William. And the second thing is to build a new attached garage for their use. I did want to mention there was a slight change to the plans that were submitted, which I believe is Exhibit B4, the supplemental plans. We did add a side vestibule to the ADU, also along Maple Avenue, and that'll be shown on the plans that I'll hand out in a minute, but that's solely for the purpose of providing an entryway for William to use this ADU. So as I mentioned, this would just be for their son William. They don't intend to profit off of this proposed ADU. It's not going to be an Airbnb or available for rent or anything like that. So as I mentioned, we're asking for 3 different types of zoning relief here. The first is a special exception under section 280-1702A to expand an existing non-conforming structure into the ADU. The existing garage is considered an existing non-conforming structure just because of where it's located on the property. It's right up against the property line and it's technically entirely within the setback, so that makes it non-conforming, but it's been on the property for decades, so it's an existing non-conformity. The second is we're asking for a variance from section 280-502 to permit this detached garage to be converted into the ADU. And then the third is we're asking for a dimensional variance from section 280-505B to permit an attached garage within the front yard setback along Maple Avenue. And we'll point this out on the plans. This property does have multiple front yards because it's located on a corner, so we'll situate you all. So at this point, if it's easiest for the court reporter, I do have exhibit packets all together and I can read out what order they're in. I think it might make the most sense to put them in as exhibits 1 through 4. So I can read out for the record what all these exhibits are. So the exhibit packets, first page, which we can put in as exhibit A1, is the updated schematic site plan. Exhibit 2 is the new attached garage plan. That does have 5 sheets in total, but could we put that in as exhibit 2 altogether?
Let's go with A2.
A2?
Yeah.
Okay. Exhibit 3 is the floor plan for the ADU. A3, sorry. And then lastly, exhibit A4 would be the elevations for the ADU. So I'll go ahead and pass these exhibits out so everyone has
Are they
copies.
pre-marked?
They're not pre-marked.
So let's have the exhibits marked, one of them original.
Thank you.
Yeah, individual. Just in one sheet.
And are the elevations what? A4, A through D or something or whatever?
Just so we're all clear, A1 is a single sheet. A2 has the pictures.
Yes, A2 starts with the pictures. It should be separately paper clipped and that has 5 sheets in total. So the first sheet would be the pictures and the last sheet is the rear elevations. Sorry, lots of paper.
Yeah. No worries. Board members all good? All right.
All right, at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and pass things over to John and Maureen.
Thank you, thank you. Well, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it. I'm just going to give you a little bit of the background of the property, but also why we are here.
And that'll just kind of get us started. We purchased the property, as Elizabeth noted, in 1998. The house was built, and we have a photo here from the Historical Society in 1921. And it was one of the original houses for Hamilton Park. So during the Depression, the house was divided into apartments. And so basically from the mid-30s until 1998, the house was 3 apartments. And it had become completely derelict. And since 1998, when we purchased the property, we converted it back to a single-family home. And we have undertaken major projects almost every single year. And E.G. Stelsus, who's the builder here today, has been our partner in those projects as it has evolved. And this, we hope, is our last project.
I've heard that before.
So the goal here is, when we started looking at the what next in our lives, we started asking the question of how can we stay in this house, or do we want to stay in this house, and does it continue to work for us? One of the biggest considerations is that our son William, who is now 27, is autistic and has other disabilities. And so he needs a fair amount of support, but he is also independent at the same time, and that is what the paradox of autism is. William has graduated college with honors. He's in a master's program right now. He's a 3.7 in GPA, and hopes to go on to get his PhD. However, his life skills are not where they should be to continue to live on his own. And he has a lot of support in this area specific to this neighborhood and this region. So when we thought about moving, or kind of moving, with him, and what different configurations we could come up with, it was really something we couldn't find any other location for him or us that we felt we had the neighborhood, that we had the support systems here. So our primary goal is to find a living situation for him, because he does need us on a regular basis, but he also gets services here as well. Some of the services are, nurses that come to our home, things or comes to his home right now, things of that nature, and they're all located in this area, which really matters. So, and we have a great neighborhood, and we have a great support system here, and we love living here. So it really came down to, how can we make this work? How can we make this situation work?
He can walk to his doctors, he can walk to the grocery store, he can walk downtown.
He gets services from Panessa downtown. He goes to Mental Health America, which is over on Columbia Avenue. The nursing group is over on College Avenue. So he has a lot of systems and services right here that really matter to him and to us, and for him to continue to live an independent, somewhat independent life with support. So we looked at our garage and we said, what can we do with this? What can this become a place for him that is his, and yet we're there to support him at the same time? And that's when we started to have these conversations about turning it into an auxiliary dwelling unit. We're not reaching all of our goals. Our real goal was to create a trust and subdivide the property, but apparently that's its own task that we're not going to discuss here. So that way he would have a permanent residence after we go. But that's not going to happen, or at least not right now. So then the other question was, how can we make the property more manageable for us as we get older? I had major foot surgery this year, and traversing, parking on the street and lugging things in, and the, basement steps and things have gotten a lot harder. So we started to think, okay, well, we have this garage that we're now turning into an ADU. First off, where are we putting all the stuff? Okay, and then part 2 of that conversation was, now we need a new garage. So that's how we got to where we are, is that, we want to be able to park off street. We want to be able to have that kind of accessibility to our house all on one level, so we're not doing steps anymore like we are now. And we also want to be able to have a place for William to stay and live for as long as he can and we can. So that is the real reason we're here. So you're going to hear a lot of details and things like that. I would say to you, we're fairly flexible on those. The real thing is, are we meeting our goal? And that's what I really want to focus on, is that life goal of how we can create this dwelling for him that he is able to stay in for as long as he wants or he can. So that is where we really are as a family, and right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Any questions for us? Okay. Thank you. That's it. No questions. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so we can have Alex come up next.
Do I leave this here?
Yeah, just for reference.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Alex Rupp with Site Design Concepts. And I'm just going to reference the first exhibit, A1. And you'll see on here, I'll just point some things out. And in the lower right corner is the existing garage that's going to be converted into the ADU. If you look on the plans provided, you'll see a building setback line, and it shows 25 feet. It's a front yard because it is a corner lot, and the garage, existing garage, proposed ADU is completely within that this building setback. And if you look to the left of that, you'll see the proposed garage that's attached to the existing building. Just the colored ones are all proposed versus the existing are shown in no hatch on them. So the little triangles, what they indicate are doorways. So gives you some idea of what's there. Now, if you look at the existing building and the building setback line, you'll see that the existing building already is within the building setback, the front yard setback off of Maple. Okay.
Sorry, just to interrupt you, Alex, we're talking about the principal dwelling here.
Yes.
It's already
yeah.
encroaching, okay.
Correct, yeah. And then next to it, to the right of it, is the attached proposed garage. The existing building is approximately 5.5 feet over the building setback line, and the proposed garage is approximately 12 feet over the building setback line. So it's already the existing condition is already encroaching. Utilities to the ADU confirmed that there's capacity for water and sewer for this unit. As far as the lot coverage, in R2 you're allowed 40% impervious lot coverage, and the existing is 26% and the proposed is 35%. The ADU, based on zoning, even though William doesn't drive, we've provided one parking space along the alleyway in the back. As far as the new garage, will be complying with the minor land disturbance. We've talked about if we're less than 1,000 acres, we still have to go through a stormwater management plan for that, and that would be the next step after we kind of clear hurdles tonight. And as I mentioned earlier, we're asking for that 12-foot dimensional variance for the proposed garage. That's everything really I have.
Does the board have any questions about this?
You're saying you're asking for a 12-foot dimensional variance?
Yes, along Maple Avenue. So if we're looking at this new garage, if you see that dotted line that runs parallel to Maple Avenue, That's the building setback line. So because this is a corner lot, we have multiple front yards, which means it's a larger setback. So that's a 25-foot front yard setback. We're asking for a dimensional variance of 12 feet there, from that dotted line to the end of the proposed garage, which abuts the new driveway that's proposed. But as Alex noted, if you look to
Over the attached garage.
off of the attached, yes. So if you look to the left of the attached garage, you'll see those two little bump outs on the principal dwelling. So those are existing encroachments into the setback. So even though we are asking for a dimensional variance of 12 feet here, we're only encroaching an additional, I think Alex said, 6.5 feet from where the house already encroaches into that setback. If that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you look at the house and you didn't know zoning terminology, which way would the front of the house face? Spencer Avenue or Maple Avenue?
Spencer.
Yeah.
So in practicality,
It's the side.
it's a side.
Yes.
But under the definition, there's two front yards.
Exactly, correct.
And if I understand this correctly, it's a non-conforming house in terms of the side yard setback. So the extent of the relief would be the additional encroachment of 6.5 feet. Because typically a non-conforming structure, you can continue on that encroachment, but you can't increase it. So,
Yeah, that's correct. If it was a side yard, if Maple Avenue was a side yard, the setback is only 10 feet. So. Correct.
and the blue line is the property line, but it looks like there may be some yard and then the sidewalk outside of that.
Correct.
Do you know what the road right-of-way width is in that location?
Let's see here.
Looks to be pretty wide.
Yeah. 15.
30 plus 15, 45?
Yeah, on that side.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And is that one way right there, that Maple Ave? Right. That's-
No, that's two-way.
No, it's one way.
Spencer
It's
Ave,
one way.
Spencer Ave is two. but I
No,
think the
Spencer is
Maple Ave-
also
Spencer's
one.
They're both one.
Oh, I'm
Both
sorry.
one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They're
Yes,
both one.
Spencer, but I think that just that part of Maple Ave is one way.
I think, yeah, it gets to two-way up here.
Right here, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's one way the whole way down.
Could you explain the access to the proposed new garage? How's that happening?
Okay, sure. So what you see kind of in that gray hatch
Right.
is the proposed driveway. So
Right.
that would come off of Maple, and as you'll see in the exhibits further down, as far as elevations, you'll see that there's garage doors on that side facing Maple.
So are you going over sidewalks? Is that what, just
Correct.
describe
Yeah.
for me visually?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there'd be a driveway apron there, concrete driveway apron that would be needed, and then behind the sidewalk would be paved as well.
Okay. Thank you.
What would be the height of both of the attached garage and then the renovations to the detached? Or maybe you get into that.
I think that might be better posed to Andy.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
can speak to that. It's about 22 feet
Okay.
from the blacktop at the curb.
I didn't hear what you said about how much?
It's about 22 feet
22.
Okay.
from at the garage door opening to the peak of the new attached garage.
Any other questions from board members?
Just over to the existing garage.
Yes.
I see you have a paved walkway. That's not an actual driveway.
No,
And what's the approximate width?
5 feet for the proposed sidewalk.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. This-
And where you see that little triangle for the ADU, that little, call it a little bump out, that's the only part that's proposed that's not the same as existing.
That side vestibule. I
Yeah,
think you use that term.
Yes, yeah. And you'll be able to see that more clearly when Ethan comes up and shows the architectural plans as well.
And we provided that parking space back here because there wouldn't be enough in front of the ADU. It would block the sidewalk. So that's why we're proposing one in the little alleyway behind it. Does that make sense? Okay.
I think, is there any else for the question?
With the ADU, the existing drive that's there right now, what is the plan for that?
We've discussed it, and we actually had a meeting and we talked about it. So sort of kind of, I mean, we'd like to keep it, but
We would probably, if it has to go, it has to go, but on the other hand, we would just do something landscaping or something like that. So we would give a little block from the ADU, from the street.
Sure.
It wouldn't be used for parking.
It's too small.
no, right. It would block the sidewalk. You couldn't pull a car in far enough that it would be, if you see how that continues, the sidewalk continues along Maple, and a car couldn't pull in and without blocking it, so.
Well, but a car could pull in if it's, I mean, are you gonna put planters or something there?
That's kind
That's
of,
the idea.
you need to let us know what we can do.
Because of the setbacks and so forth,
Yeah.
we're just waiting to figure out what we can do.
And is it used for parking now? I mean, is there?
Snow plows are coming, yes, we'll.
Yeah.
Which is partially why we want the garage.
Any other questions? No? All right. Well,
Okay.
next witness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Andy Levo, and I am with E.G. Stoltzfus Custom Homes and Remodeling Division.
Andy, do you mind spelling your last name?
Sure. L-E-B as in boy, O. For the past 20 years that I've been at E.G. Stoltzfus, my team and I have partnered with the Razors and done several projects, both commercially and residentially. And we're excited to make their home more accessible for them to live there long-term and enjoy space with their son, if that's in the cards. So I'll start off talking about the attached garage that we're proposing. The entry to from the existing house to the new attached garage is actually positioned where there's currently a window. So that window would be removed, creating a doorway to a 5-foot by 6-foot corridor that would connect to the new attached garage that's 22 feet across and 24 feet deep, front to back. We're making all the elevations flush so that when they pull in their vehicle, they can get out, no steps to get into the house. If mobility becomes more of an issue over the years, that's not going to be a concern. Also, with that variance that is being requested of an additional 6.5 feet beyond what's currently encroaching into the setback, we have enough space between the front of the garage and the sidewalk for a vehicle to park without having, anyone blocking the sidewalk. It's a 528 square foot garage with 30 square foot connecting entry. The exterior finishes are going to match and mirror a lot of the existing features on the house, such as hardy plank siding, cedar shake style siding. Don't believe we're pursuing any brick at this point. We want to make it tie to the existing, even with the choice of windows, to make it look like it's always been there. It's going to have a CMU foundation, wood frame walls and trusses. The height, like I said, is about 22 feet high, so it's well within the parameters of the R2 zone. Do you have any questions or anything that you'd like me to explain further about the design or?
On the second floor, is that just storage? Is there access to that?
Yeah, so there'd be a pull-down staircase. I understand John is a collector of many things. And,
Useful things.
useful things, we just don't know the use yet. So that's going to be very useful space for storage until a use is found. So, yeah.
And just to confirm, the attached garage would only be used for accessory uses to the residential dwelling, no businesses or commercial activities out of it.
No.
Any other questions? Done? No? All right.
Okay.
Are there any photographs of the existing building, the small building, the ADU?
The ADU,
Yeah.
The detached garage.
yeah,
That detached.
detached garage, I don't have any, but
You do on your phone?
Ethan does.
I have one that I printed out.
I mean, do we know the approximate height of that building?
The existing approximate height is around 19 feet 1 inch. The proposed height will be approximately 22 feet.
22.
Ethan, you can come on up.
Turn in that direction. Hi, I'm Ethan Knox-Snyder. I'm an architect and I also
And I'm
live
sorry, Ethan, do mind spelling that?
Sure. K, N as in Nancy, O, P as in Paul, S, N again, I, D, E, R. I'm an architect that also lives in Hamilton Park and I've been helping the Razors with the design of the accessory dwelling unit. So just to speak a little bit about the existing building, it's approximately 413 square feet. The existing garage has 2 bays that face Maple Avenue. And then there is it's sort of a story and a half. There is a small attic space there existing now, but it's a space that's really sort of hard to stand in. So I'll talk a little bit about that when I talk about the new plans. So the first floor, so if we take a look at what was entered as Exhibit A3, you can see the first floor plan in the bottom left corner of the page, and the second floor plan will be in the top left corner of that page. So speaking to the first floor plan, you can see that its use as an accessory dwelling unit is largely an open concept plan with living space in what I'll call the front towards Maple Avenue, kitchen space in the back. And as already described, we are proposing an entry vestibule being added to the west end of the building. This will allow, Hamilton Park's a very walkable neighborhood and a lot of people take advantage of that. So adding that entry vestibule will provide William with a little more privacy, having that off to the side rather than just an entry door right into his living space. It also helps with safety and security. In addition, and since the current existing building has no utilities, we hope to add a small mechanical closet in that entry vestibule as well. So then I'll talk a little bit about the existing building height and adding to that a little bit. So if you want to look at A3 again, in the top left corner, the second floor plan, we intend to use that space for a bedroom, bathroom, and a small office space for William. And like I said, that current ceiling height on the second floor isn't occupiable. So I'll go ahead and flip to A4. And you can see on the elevations that we are proposing building an overbuild that will be designed more like dormers so that it still appears as a secondary structure to the main residence, but is able to provide adequate headspace in the second floor for occupiable space. Lastly, I will talk about the exterior thermal envelope and exterior materials. So the existing brick masonry building has no insulation of any sort, and the existing brick is on the property line along the south and eastern facades. But there is a perimeter foundation that extends approximately 6 inches beyond that brick face. So it actually extends beyond the property line as it exists. And we're proposing to use that ledge, the foundation ledge, as a way to provide an exterior thermal envelope for the building, as we intend to, add mechanical heating, ventilating, air conditioning. And then that will also provide us an opportunity for new exterior cladding. Again, we're sort of tying into some of the existing materials that are on the home now on some of the additions and what will be on some of the garage addition with lap siding and shake siding. The elevations here show one sort of color scheme which may change, but I just wanted to provide us an opportunity to see that we might want to use some different colors or finishes from the existing home just to create some differentiation between the buildings. So you can see here I propose that the shakes are maybe a natural cedar finish rather than the painted shakes that we see on the existing home or the garage. Do you have any questions?
The new entranceway will be new construction. It's not the existing footprint.
Correct.
And do you think the special exception covers that, or do you need a dimensional variance for that little addition?
In our reading of the ordinance, we are expanding an existing non-conforming structure. So based on our reading, this is the expansion that the physical expansion of this space that we're providing here. And looking at the way the ADU is situated, I don't think we're creating any new nonconformities.
So the ordinance does say no new nonconformity shall be created by any proposed expansion unless a variance is sought. I don't know, I mean, it's maybe a very technical point, but probably wouldn't hurt to make a motion to amend and request that, just in case the board believes that's necessary.
I would amend that.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to make a motion to amend to add a dimensional variance?
Sure, I'll make a motion to amend the application to add a dimensional variance for the new side vestibule proposed with the ADU. Do you want me to be more specific about the?
It sounds like it's going to be the exact same relief you requested for the attached garage.
Right.
To be in the side yard, I mean, it's a front yard
Right.
setback.
Right.
So I think that's what, 280-505C.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think the board could act on that request to amend the application to add that.
I move to accept the amendment.
I think even though it's not necessarily set forth or part of the advertisement, it's an integral part of the plan.
Well, and the advertisement did advertise a dimensional variant to that section, so I'm very comfortable we're covered from that standpoint. Yeah, the Commonwealth Court has said as long as notice is provided of the type of relief, even if you amend, so if they had only asked for a special exception and then asked for a use variance, we'd probably need to rethink whether we need to re-advertise, but I don't think there's any issue with making an additional request for relief they've already requested.
I would second the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other questions for this witness? Will there be a separate sewer and water line, or will it connect to the main house?
There should be a separate sewer and water.
Separate sewer and
Yeah.
water. All right.
The board doesn't have any other questions. We did go through the special exception criteria and the variance standards pretty thoroughly in the narrative, so in the interest of letting everyone leave a little earlier this evening, if you want me to go through them again, I can, or we can let the narrative speak to those.
It's up to the board. I think it's a pretty straightforward request. Those general standards. There's a lot of opposition, maybe you want to make the record, but.
Well, I think these have been moved into evidence. The board will admit them.
Yeah.
So I think we
That's a
have
good
them. I think we have them
Okay.
on record, and
Thank
I
you.
see no reason to, yeah,
Okay.
reiterate that.
Okay. And if the board doesn't have any other questions for our witnesses, I think that's our presentation for this evening.
All right.
Township have any position or anything you want to add?
The township doesn't have any opposition to the application. Some concern that I've noted just here tonight, the ordinance does say that only one driveway per property is permitted unless relief is given by the Board of Supervisors, I believe. So that was my concern with leaving the driveway, so to speak, for the ADU. Could be an issue in that, but it sounds like there's flexibility in that.
Yeah,
So,
I think, not to speak for the Razors, but I do think they'd be open to that as a condition.
So that would be to remove the concrete driveway and just have stone or something, or?
Yeah, we don't really have a design for that because we weren't really sure what we were doing. But I think it would be nice to have some green space in front of the ADU, also to give a barrier for him, whether it's landscaping or something else going on. Yeah, so we're open to the idea. We just haven't come up with a concept.
outside of that, the only other concern, and it seemingly was addressed by council, is the use beyond what is presented tonight in the future, as in like a rental or a short term or anything like that, we would be concerned about. But under the circumstances that are presented, we have no opposition.
And for the benefit of the board, when I deal with ADUs and other townships, we typically would recommend a recorded document providing notice of the zoning decision that specifically requires that it be used for a family member. And if it's not used by a family member, then it has to be accessory to the dwelling, and it can't be used for an apartment, for a third party, or a short-term rental. The reason for the recording is there's been situations where a property has an ADU, it gets sold, another person moves in, then the realtor says, oh, by the way, there's this apartment you can rent, this is a great thing to do, and they start renting it and had no idea that it was supposed to be limited to family members. So it's really to put the next property owner on notice that they'd have to come back here if they wanted to do something different, but they can't say, well, we had no idea, because it's going to be.
And is that added as a condition to the actual?
Yes, and I have an example that I can share with, and I'm sure that your office might have some, that it basically is a notice that's recorded, and they do a title search. It's going to come up and say, oh, there's a zoning decision, and these are limitations on what can be done there.
And we could also include not to be a commercial
Yes.
use
Yep.
as well.
Or rental.
A rental,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
any kind of commercial.
I mean, some townships, it's more rare now, will require that the kitchen be removed. I personally think that's a little overkill. I think, folks can still use an ADU as an accessory
For
to their,
in-laws
for in-laws, or they have friends staying for the weekend. It's just really the short-term rentals and kind of the official commercial renting of it to third parties, so.
And you would have no problem with making that as a condition?
No.
All right, well, is there anyone in the audience that wants to make a public comment?
I do. You know, I saw this notice and I figured,
I
my
know
name,
your name.
Your name, sir.
my name, Avram Notice, Avrohom, last name Notis. I live on 22 Spencer, the rabbi at Degel, Israel. Neighbors at the Razors. I have 2 sons that live on Spencer, also neighbors at the Razors. A daughter on Maple, also neighbors. So, and I saw this notice, and I figured I wanted to come and, you know, hope that the township will grant this request. You know, it's important for a neighbor like ours that has good neighbors and good people here to accommodate them to live here with their family forever. And this is what I consider a reasonable thing and an amazing thing to accommodate, you know, grown children. So I just came to support this and hope that the township will approve it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
So we'll admit into the record all the exhibits. And unless there's anything else, I think we can have a motion to close the record at this point in time.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So at this point in time, you think you're ready to make a decision this evening? We can process that.
I think I would move that we render the decision at the beginning of the next meeting.
Okay, fine. And what we can do is I can poll you individually if you want, kind of see where you're leaning, and then circulate a draft decision that you can provide feedback to me individually, and then we can render the decision at the next meeting. Do we have any applications coming up? Not yet.
There was one, I don't know if it's going to be ready. I don't believe it will be, but it could.
I guess what's the problem? I would certainly be agreeable to rendering the decision on that date without necessarily convening.
Well, you'll have to convene to vote.
To vote on it.
Yeah, so.
August 26th.
Oh.
It's up to the board. It's, you know, if you
I'll
want
be
some,
here.
if you want
I'll
some
be here.
time to think about it and process it, I can
We'll be
certainly
here.
do that. Okay. Yeah.
And we probably won't need you.
Yeah. You know, as long as you're comfortable with the proposed draft decision, you'll just have to vote on it.
Mhm.
And if you want to come, you can, but you don't have to. The record's closed, so there won't be additional evidence or testimony admitted. It'll just be rendering a decision. So you're certainly welcome to come.
Would that be, if you voted on the 26th of August, would we get our permits immediately, or do we have more steps involved?
You're good to go, right?
Okay,
Well, as far as building, there's more steps.
Right.
But
so that's what I was asking.
your approval to move forward in the process would be
Okay,
complete. You would have to, there's more design and plan review that needs to be done permanently.
So you would have a building permit application you'd need to submit based on stamped architectural drawings.
okay.
So that is a process you can be ready so that they can be submitted the next day.
Yeah, our hope was to be into the attached garage this winter, so that was,
Yeah.
that's what we're getting
By
at.
Christmas, at least,
Yeah,
by
you're in pretty
Thanksgiving.
good shape. That's August 26th.
Yeah,
The zoning does not approve the building design or the building
Sure.
code requirements, so that's a separate process. Doesn't mean you can't submit something for plan review, but you often will wait to be sure the zoning is approved. But if you want to pick up a few weeks, I suppose you could submit it knowing if the board denies your zoning,
Right.
that's kind of been a wasted effort. But if time is that important, that's something you could do if your designers are ready to submit the building permit application.
Yeah,
We usually tell people it takes approximately 2 weeks for plan review, and that's considering there's no questions from our plan review people to your design.
well, let me get with these guys and see what they think. And what, you know, I mean, it is, EG still builds a lot of stuff on a regular basis, so a garage is not gonna be hard for them. So, but at the same time, I want it done before the holidays. That's kind of our goal. Okay, all right.
From our perspective, that's not a problem. From E.G. Stolzfus, I don't know what
Yeah.
their scheduling is, but.
Sorry. All right, well, all right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Do you
Motion to
need to
adjourn.
make a motion
Oh,
to continue?
Motion to continue to render the decision at the August meeting.
Second?
All those in favor? Aye. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
We'll be in touch with you.
Thank you, everybody.
Is that adjournment?
Oh, you want to technically adjourn, please.
Motion adjourned.
Second?